All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Rich Walsh along with Andrew Fillipponi for tonight's show. We're going to get right up to the phone lines. We got Larry in Newcastle. How you doing, Larry?
Hey, Larry.
Thank you for taking my phone call. I believe that the Tennessee Titans should be made to forfeit the game because of this reason. This is a team sport. There wasn't just one or two players. There are many people involved. They probably went out and got the virus after the game against Minnesota last week. As far as I know, I don't think any Minnesota players come down with the virus. But until you hit these players in the pocketbook and say, hey, team lost, 21-0 to the Steelers, we move on, you don't get paid, the players don't get paid from Tennessee, until you have them in the pocketbook and they understand that they got to play by the rules and not be out wandering around at night or wherever they were doing. This is not one or two people. This is many people. And I believe tomorrow there'll be some more cases show up because this is exposure time. And my wife's a nurse, and she believes it takes like 3 days if you do get someone bumps into you with it before you react to it.
All right, thanks a lot, Larry. Do you agree with any one of his points?
No.
I mean, I don't think they should have to forfeit.
I think the NFL screwed this up badly. The Titans outside linebackers coach had the virus last week, Richie, and they didn't quarantine guys that were around him. They didn't do contact tracing. All those players who were exposed to this guy were allowed to get on the plane, travel to Minnesota, and play in the game. So that, to me, is a failure in the NFL's protocol. The Titans were following the rules. They got rid of the coach. He didn't make the trip. But I think the rules in this case were bad. So that's on the NFL, I think, unless it can be proven. We know the NFL hires private investigators to look into other things. Unless it can be proven that these guys went out and deliberately broke protocol. And if that happened, then I do think there should be stiff consequences. But as of right now, I don't think teams should have to forfeit if players accidentally get sick. For all we know, Richie, one of these coaches or players initially got it because a kid brought it home from school. What, we're gonna discipline and force a team to forfeit games because of that? I don't think that's fair. I'll say it again. They should be playing this game Monday or Tuesday, removing players who were around the guys who got sick. That's my point. Now, I don't think it should be the Steelers win the game automatically.
I agree with you there that they have that expanded practice squad right now, so you can play the game. Now, I know we don't like to live in hypotheticals, Pony, but say 5 or 6 players.
I love hypotheticals. Okay, I do my whole show based on hypotheticals.
Yeah, say 5 or 6 players were out at a bar, 10 players. And then I still don't know if it's fair to forfeit a game, though.
No, it's not. It's not. What would happen, in my opinion, what would happen in that case is those guys would get massive fines and suspensions. And I think, look, coaches are getting fined big money for not wearing masks on the sideline right now. So if somebody's breaking curfew or somebody is blatantly ignoring the NFL rules, well then, look, what I agree with right now is a middle ground compromise is if enough guys do it, Richie, strip the team of draft picks. We've seen the NFL do that for less. Didn't they take a draft pick away from Tomlin because he ran into Jacoby Jones on the sideline once upon a time? If you can do it for that, you can take draft picks away for guys who don't pay attention to COVID-19 rules.
Tom in Monongahela, how you doing, Tom?
How you doing,
Hi, Tom.
Rich?
Good.
Hey, listen, I want to talk about the coronavirus. I think that every player, the coaches, it was well understood from before even the season started, the protocols and that. And I feel that the Steelers is a huge disadvantage for one. And two, say Bud Dupree and Ben or 3 or 4 of our starters got hurt, you're not going to continue the game. And if they pass the protocol, should that game not go on?
Tony, can you decipher that? I don't quite understand what he was trying to say here.
Well, I think if he's trying to
talking
make
about
the point
guys
that
getting hurt for another injury, right?
Well, life goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, life goes on when players get injured. That's just a fact of life in the NFL. This is something different. I just thought it was going to take more than just a handful of players testing positive to cancel a game. And maybe I was naive about it. Maybe I didn't want to believe it. Maybe, Richie, because the NFL didn't let us know what the policy was and what it would take to cancel a game or postpone a game, we were all left to speculate on it. It's a lot easier to reschedule Major League Baseball games, though. They can exercise more caution because they've got more of an ability to schedule doubleheaders and move games around. The NFL doesn't have that kind of wiggle room, and that's why this decision today kind of knocked me off my feet.
Josiah, San Antonio. How you doing, Josiah?
What's up,
Hey,
man?
how you doing, Andrew? Hey, Rich and Andrew. Just two things. First, I'm looking forward to Saturday, the Fan Nation show, to see Bob's Man Cave, to see how that plays out.
So am I.
Another point.
Pony's a big part of the show now. I'm getting him on every week.
I saw him on the first episode. Quick things about the Steelers and Titans. This is so frustrating. The NFL knew that these guys could possibly catch the coronavirus. Now, from my understanding, as long as they're not hooked up to ventilators or going to the hospital, these games should be played. And the other last point I wanted to make is like the Oakland Raiders. They got busted at a fundraiser for not wearing events that weren't social distancing or wearing masks. So it's like the NFL doesn't know what they're doing or how to correct this case.
You know, Josiah and Andrew, I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing, really. I mean, out there. I mean, everyone's trying to live their life as normal as they can, but also trying to as safely as they can, right? I want to believe that everyone in the NFL is trying to stay safe, and no one wants to get it, right? But we're going to go back to there's an expanded practice squad. 11 people in the organization got it. 5 players. Quarantine these people.
Yeah, my problem here is they're not in a bubble. It's not like the NHL. It's not like the Major League Baseball next round of the postseason where they go to these central locations. So as long as they're still out in the general population, there's the risk for these types of things to happen. What did we talk about on this show when the NFL released a schedule? Oh, it looks like a normal schedule. There was nothing about it that suggested we were in the middle of a pandemic. They didn't have certain games. Richie, remember we said maybe they'll put all non-conference games at the beginning of the year. That way, if they have to cancel all those games, it won't be as big of a deal. Remember we speculated about that for weeks?
That's what we talked about.
So instead, they just rolled out a 17-week season that's looked like every NFL schedule that has come before it. So I'm left to believe that they say, oh, we expected positive tests. We expected games to get postponed. Where were you going to put those games? There's nothing in the schedule. They got lucky here that they can move the byes around for the Steelers, Titans, and Ravens to fit this game in. Maybe the next time they won't be so lucky, Richie. And I don't think this is the last time we have this conversation about positive tests in the NFL this year.
You know, I talked to one of my NFL sources, a few weeks ago, and I asked them if they thought there would be any cancellations, and they said no way. That's why we have the expanded practice squad. So that's what I was led to believe, just like what you were saying right there. I just thought that, it wouldn't happen unless you had 20 guys get it or something like that, or all 4 quarterbacks, something that was like devastating. To me, the only thing here is the potential of a couple more positive tests in the next couple days. Why don't we wait? So, all right.
Well, if there's such a delay in testing results, Richie, we're going to be fighting this battle all year. I was under the impression we were getting to a point where it was rapid testing. You tested and you found out if you were positive or negative in hours.
Yeah, but you know how sometimes it lags, right, if you're positive, symptoms. But everyone was negative, right? So, whatever. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Let's go to our Tri-State Office Furniture tweet of the day. And this is Eric Ebron. He wasn't too happy about it. You can read it right there. I'm confused on how this became our problem. My son's birthday party was bye week. Now I'm missing his birthday, and bad enough I don't even see my kids. And then there's a expletive there. So
what's that word there? That's blacked out. What was that?
I don't know. I don't know what that word was. It's blacked out. He's obviously not happy, Pony, just like a lot of Steelers fans out there. All right, we got to take a break. Back to maybe answer some more calls and some tweets coming up next. Stay right there.